That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 181 of Camp Strange. I am your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I am your other camp counselor, Muhammad Abdal.
And we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and conman? And before we get into these longer stories we have for you today, we have to catch you up on any of the weird news. But once again, David, I kind of wanted to have like a slight movie corner. I just want to see if you've seen these movies because I watched two very disturbing movies last night. And for
I watched a really bad one last night.
What did you watch last night?
I think it was called like The Pod Generation.
What is that? It
was Emilia Clarke.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that guy you were saying had a really cool name last episode?
Oh, Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Yeah, he was in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a movie about people in the future that have little pods that grow babies instead of having like natural sex and reproduction.
They don't have natural sex?
No.
Or they just
no sex.
What do they do?
They have houses that tell them when they need to meditate. The movie was fucking awful. We didn't finish it.
They meditate the horniness away?
Yeah.
Tried. Can't do it.
That movie I do not recommend to anyone. It was
Eat a whole raw potato.
Most boring goddamn movie.
Well.
And we paused it. And we're like, how much time is left? And it was like 46 minutes. We're like, okay, we're turning it off.
Oh yeah, that's tough. I've done that a couple times where I'm like, but I just push through. I just go, I'm just gonna watch the rest of it. Fuck it. Hoping that it gets better. Most of the time it doesn't. So I watched two kind of slow burn movies. One's a classic and one's kind of newer, but both very disturbing. So the first one I watched was a A24 movie called Men. It came out like a year ago, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah. It was the same guy that made Ex Machina. I can't remember, his name's like Alex something.
Yeah.
It was a weird ass movie, very very weird. Some really kind of like disturbing scenes for sure, but like very slow burn. So if you want to watch a slow burn, like
what was it called?
One. Men, Men.
Okay.
It's a one where like some guy plays like every character in it, and like the woman's the same woman, but like the guy is like it's a British movie. And the guy plays like every character in the town, like every man character.
Okay.
But it's very weird. It's about her partner like kills himself, and she goes to like this cabin to like kind of get away and heal. And like all of these like weird characters in this town are like doing weird shit. It's very like dream-like surrealist type movie, and it gets really really weird at the end. So.
Okay.
Very like allegorical, very metaphorical. It's one of those like art house type vibes, but creepy nonetheless. And then I watched a movie that is a classic and literally is kind of haunting me.
Okay.
David Lynch.
Yeah.
Eraserhead.
I was gonna say Eraserhead.
Did you see that?
I watched that in high school. I need to watch it again.
Dude, that movie was so like.
I remember it being
upsetting.
very weird and not getting it. I feel like I was like 14.
Well, you get like the majority of that movie. For those of you who don't know,
I was eating a lot of paint when I was 14.
So basically, this movie is just about this like weirdo guy who accidentally gets this woman pregnant, his girlfriend at the time. And finds out that she gave birth to a baby while they were like separated, or like not seeing each other. And she like brings him over to like, hey, we have to get married and take care of this baby. And the baby is something else, man. David, I bet you remember exactly what that thing looks like.
I don't. I really don't remember anything about the movie.
Oh my God. They're and it's just so like surreal. It's in like this really drab like building, like this whole like very what's the word, industrial city, and like it's just, it looks like like a
Oh,
Tim
okay.
Burton-esque fucking thing.
I googled it. I think the reason why I didn't find the baby strange was because that was what I looked like as a baby.
But like I was just gonna say, the majority of the movie makes sense. It's just a father trying to cope with fatherhood and a baby that is not a normal baby,
It's a
and
nasty little monster.
yeah, what it's doing to both of these parents. But there's some like very weird opening and closing scenes, and like there's a couple weird scenes in the middle of like people singing, and it's just really all over the place. And David Lynch doesn't he doesn't explain his movies. Like he's infamous for that.
Yeah.
People were like, so like, did this mean this? And he's like, it's not up for me to tell you how to interpret my movies. Like however you interpret it is like beautiful, and it like that means. And I like honestly, I kind of agree with that to a certain extent. But his are like art house movies that are like sometimes really hard to interpret, but it's fun. You know, it's a
Yeah.
But that movie haunted me. I watched
Part of the
that.
experience.
I finished that at like 1 a.m, and I was like, I have to go to sleep after this. Like holy shit. Oh my god!
There's something creepier about like old school horror too.
That movie was made in 1977, and it looks like it's made in like the 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
So it's super weird. But yeah, you're right. It's like it's
all the
considered
practical use.
Yeah, and it's considered a horror movie, but it's more or less like a
Psychological film.
yeah. It's just like full of dread. It's very unsettling. It's a very unsettling movie. Like the whole thing, you just kind of feel like I shouldn't be watching this. Like I shouldn't be in this world. This world is like so unsettling. I can't think of another word, but it was very good though. I really liked it. I want to watch a lot more of his stuff because it was strange as hell. So
yeah,
recommend that one. Recommend both, but anyway.
Did you have another one? I thought you said you had 3.
No, just Men and Eraserhead.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched anything else, but speaking of movies, I have some news for you. As woman named Barbie Oppenheimer says she's having trouble checking into hotels.
I saw that one. I almost grabbed that one. I left it for you.
Thank you. So this woman's name is Barbara Oppenheimer. It is her real name. And her husband's father is third cousins to J. Robert Oppenheimer. So she married into this family as a Barbara and inherited the Oppenheimer surname.
She should have known this situation was going to come.
I wonder when she actually got married, and she seems, I don't think it says her age on here, but it seems relatively young. I had college friends around the world texting me that weekend when the movies came out with the whole schmear, the bomb and the bombshell. She told the publication. It was pretty funny. It was a brilliant thing that they launched them together. It really brought people back to the movie theaters. But I guess she's just having trouble, like, checking in hotels. She'll, like, call the hotels and be like, under Barbara Oppenheimer or Barbie Oppenheimer. And people are like, are you fucking with me? Are you, like, pulling my leg right now?
Yeah, it's like Tony Hawk talks about that all the time.
Oh, what do you mean?
How I think he's had, like, rental cars canceled because they thought it was like a prank call that someone said Tony Hawk was coming to get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, yeah, there's certain names that are like almost like they're more mythological than an actual person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I can't think of, like, if Chuck Norris,
yeah,
like Chuck Norris called somebody and was like, for Chuck Norris, and they're like, huh, okay, yeah, sure.
I wonder if he calls in like Charles or Charlie.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, well, a lot of celebrities, I know this.
Fake ones, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think they should just give a pseudonym, not to like draw any more buzz to their stay, I guess.
Yeah.
I would probably go under the pseudonym of Eraserhead Baby.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you can't stay here no more.
Henry's baby.
Henry's baby. They named it Spike, apparently, like the fans.
Did it have spikes?
No, it didn't have spikes. It barely had
It's
anything.
just a little freak name.
It's
like when you get that ugly ass dog, you're like, yeah, you're Spike.
Okay, so sorry, we're going back to Eraser, but when I finally saw that thing up close, I was like, oh, they're not going to show it. Like they keep it like at a when she's like feeding it, they keep it at distance, and then the next shot is like a profile shot of her feeding it with this little tongue, like eating the food and shit. And I paused the movie and I went out loud by myself. I went, "What the fuck?" I feel really bad because like at the end of the day, that's like, I know it's fictional, but at the end of the day, it's like a baby that I'm going like, it's really upsetting to hear everybody go, "That is a horrific monster."
Yeah.
And you're like, come on. Like, it's just a baby.
It's just a baby.
He's just a boy.
Leave the boy alone. He ain't even grown yet.
I wonder if he is a boy. There's no confirmation on that end.
Really? They didn't show his little pepper?
Well, do you remember what happens at the end? I'm not saying it on the pod, but
I don't, but I think I saw a photo of it.
Yeah,
I Googled it.
It's the one thing that made me like, I feel like my heart started beating faster when it happened. I was like, oh no, and I felt really, really sad and bad and disturbed, and like I was just flooded with emotion. I was impressed that they showed it, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's on Max, right?
It's on Max.
Okay, because I remember seeing it recently, and I think I even like added it to my list because like I need to rewatch that one. So
it kind of, you know, it reminded me of when we watched Mad God together.
Yeah.
That was weird. That movie was so weird.
Film.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
That was also an experience.
Yeah, it really was. But yeah, Barbie Oppenheimer, she's dead now. No, she's fine. But yeah, what's your news story?
1 second. Let me pull it up. I was looking on my phone. CDC warns not to kiss or cuddle your turtle as salmonella outbreak spreads to 11 states.
I don't know how salmonella spreads between turtles.
It's Wi-Fi. They download it into their shell.
5G? People don't talk about 5G anymore.
Yeah, because they're on 6G.
Oh, they're already on the 6G. That's where the salmonella plays a part.
5G don't even exist.
But like, I always hear that they're like, "Oh, don't touch turtles. Turtles have salmonella on them," and I'm like, I know it's just like bacteria, right?
Yeah.
But like,
no, chickens got it too.
Yeah, but like not live chicken, like dead chicken.
Oh yeah, no, all chicken got it. Riddled with it. So salmon.
Yeah, usually when I'm going to hook up in my pod, I have to tell her that I have salmonella. And I'm like, I just thought you should know before we hook up.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And I'm like, I have salmonella. It's sexually transmitted. Is it?
Anything can be.
You're right. Peanut butter, technically.
Peanut butter.
It was on me. Now it's on you. Transmitted. You got it. You got the PB.
You need to just go to the dog park. Clear right up.
How many people do you think kiss turtles? I'm not really interested in kissing a turtle.
Yeah, I feel like they're very bitey.
Yeah, and also, I mean, they're kind of cute because they look like little old men, but I don't kiss old men neither, to be completely frank. And I don't ask Frank if I kissed him. He'll say I did, and he's a fucking liar.
I've got some photos to prove otherwise.
If you go to lemonparty.com.
Don't go to lemonparty.com. Please don't go to lemonparty.com.
There's no way that website's still up, right?
I could check.
That was like 2008 shit. You're okay.
No, I saw that shit in elementary school. That was pre-2000s.
You're jumping on the grenade for us to see if it's still there?
Lemonparty.com?
Yeah. This is what this podcast should be. Yep. Is it still there?
No. Well, I don't know. I've got a you must be over 18. I'll click on
yes.
No, this is a webcam site.
What?
Lemonparty.com.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Let's try org. Oh, yeah, it's lemonparty.org.
Can you describe what you're seeing, David?
Well, I had it there for a second, and then it pushed me into a web chat
with one of them.
Was someone named Pillow? Someone named Shitbag? Someone named the Poltergeist is here.
Wait, what the hell is this? I like how before we started the pod,
what's
David
going
goes.
on?
David was saying that his computer wasn't acting normal because he thought he got a virus from last episode when he downloaded the JG Wentworth jingle. I don't think it's the JG Wentworth jingle. I think it's fucking conversing with shitbag on lemonparty.org.
Yeah, so if you type in, Lemon Party, you get the photo for about 3 seconds, and then it kicks you to chat.poo.com/name equals Sophia.
Wait, chat.poo?
Yeah.
Is this a poo thing? They talk about poop stuff?
But they've got some racist artwork in here.
Oh,
Oh, they're being very racist. Very
get
racist.
off that site. Well, for those of you who don't know lemonparty.org, you don't have to go to it, but it's just 3 older gentlemen who are
exploring each other's bodies.
Yeah, that's what I think the best way to put it. And it was a really fun prank to pull on your friends when you were younger, with all the other ones, the Blue Waffles, the Tub Girls, the Wow OMG.
Well, I think 30 Rock pulled off the funniest joke in television history.
What was that?
Well, the main character of 30 Rock is Liz Lemon, played by Tina Fey.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, her parents come to visit, and they're throwing a party. And Jack, I believe his name was, who is Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
He had a line, something along the lines of like, "There's nothing better than a lemon party."
Oh, wow. Sneak it in there. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Please do not go to lemonparty.org.
For your own safety.
Especially if you are Jewish.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That chat room was getting pretty bad.
I feel like you don't have any room to judge anybody else if you're typing in that website and going to that chat room.
I jumped on the grenade.
Those people don't have the upper hand in the situation at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got another news story right here. As
you know what? I bet all 3 of those gentlemen are deceased at this point.
Yeah. You know what I like to do? You know one of my favorite things to do is
what?
When I watch like a movie from like a black and white movie.
Yeah.
I'll like find the oldest person in the movie, and I'll lean over to somebody during the movie and I'll be like, "Hey, you see her? She'll be like 80 years old in like a 1935 movie." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
she's still alive." Someone's like, "What?"
I thought you were going a different route with this one.
No, I wasn't going to do anything crude, but I actually just like, I just do it like very wholeheartedly. I'd be like, "They're still alive." And people are like, "What the fuck? Are you serious?" Like, could they be 100,
years old.
150 years old?
She actually played Freddy Krueger.
She played Freddy Krueger's body double.
I always watch old movies with animals in them, and I start crying because I think about how the animals are definitely dead. Air Bud dead.
I feel like we could do the quick maths on it, but anybody in a movie from 1930 is dead, correct?
Yeah.
Because if you were a baby,
if they were a baby, they'd be 90. So probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could still be alive, but not too many baby actors back then. They were all busy in the coal mines.
I was about to say they're chimney sweeping, covered in soot.
Yeah.
But speaking of making money, Trumbull man charged after finding $5,000 outside bank says he just took the cash and called it a day. So I'm fucking pissed about this. I have a very strong opinion about this.
Yeah.
So I don't know Trumbull. I don't know where this is. It doesn't matter. But he's getting this guy. No, Trumbull. I'll probably come across it in the article. But this guy's being charged this 60-year-old man is being charged with third-degree larceny from the police because they said he stole a bag of several $1,000s in tax funds. But this guy was like, I was walking. He was 57 years old. He's 57 years old, and he's never committed a crime in his whole life, he says. And he says, this is a crock of baloney. I found the money, and now it's probably going to cost me money. But he was walking out of the bank, and he found a bag that had 5,000...
In the bank or outside of the bank?
Outside of the bank,
Okay.
on the floor.
On the ground?
On the ground. See, this is my big fucking problem. He goes, I walked out in the parking lot, saw something on the ground, and there was no one around. So I picked it up, he said. It's not like I stole something. So they're trying to say that larceny is basically like taking something without intent or like harmful intent, or like it's not like stealing. I don't know what technically larceny is. They go over in this article, but
Yeah.
basically these people who were supposed to be fucking depositing the money dropped it because they couldn't do their job. And this guy's like, okay, here's $5,000. Like, oh my God, I'm like, I'll return this to somebody, but like, it's $5,000. Like, it's whatever. Like, no one's
It's
around.
great. It's great, but it's not like it's gonna,
and here's
destroy the government.
Okay, but here's the thing that's very similar to this. Do you remember when every once in a while you hear about like ATMs fucking up? ATMs fucking up and like spitting out a lot of cash. Or there was another story where this guy checked his balance on his account and they put like $1 million in his account by accident.
Yeah.
So he started taking out that money and was like, oh my God, I have $1 million. He didn't ask anybody. He didn't question it. Took out a bunch of money. They caught their mistake, and now they're like, hey, you have to give all that money back. And he's like, I thought I had that money. And they're like, no, that was a mistake. You know you didn't have that money. Now you have to give it back. And I'm like, if you fuck up, you don't get to be like, okay, I get the money back now. It's like, you fucked up. I thought somebody maybe paid me $1 million. If you find $5,000 outside and nobody's around, I'm not going to walk around and be like, hey, whose $5,000 is this? Because somebody's going to go, that's mine, and it might not be theirs. So I would take it. And here's the other part. If it was the bank's, and I knew it was the bank's, and I knew they dropped it outside, I'd still take it because it's a fucking bank.
Yeah,
like,
fuck the banks. Defund the banks.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Like, sorry, you fucked up. If I drop $20 on the ground, I don't get to go to the police and like find the person and go like, you got to give me $20,000 back, and also that's larceny. Because the bank was like, he knew it was our money. It was marked on the bag, and he's like, honestly, he probably did know it was your money, but it was outside on the floor, and it's like, sorry, if you don't really care about this money, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Right?
Dog shit. What have they done to us?
I just think it's bullshit that they're like charging this man. Like, they're not just like, can you give the money back? They're like, oh, we're charging you. It's like, oh, because you're a shitty bank who can't keep track of your money. Like, this is probably bad on their part. Where it's like, I don't want to put my money in that bank. They're gonna fucking drop it outside.
Let's
Heated.
Let's start a GoFundMe for this gentleman.
Yeah, let's start a defund me for the
Listen,
bank.
if all of our listeners just donated 1 penny, we'd be able to pay this off.
Dude, I don't want to go into it, but I've had to deal with people possibly asking me for money in the past.
Yeah, I'm glad I am not a part of that.
Should I say it?
No.
Just like leave names out?
Yeah, no. But just let it be known, we're in the red.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, we do not profit whatsoever from this.
I had somebody, because of this podcast, ask me for a loan, and I'm like, literally, we have never made a cent off this podcast. Like, I'm not like killing it. So it's like,
No, God no.
So I forgot what I was getting at with that. Oh yeah, but like that's like the same person who goes like, if everybody. I also saw somebody be like, if everybody on my Instagram friends gave me $5, I would be good. And you're like, yeah, people just don't want to do that. Like, why would we? Like, we work hard for our money. You know what I mean? It's like,
to put it in perspective, what we have to sell 2 or 3 shirts just to fund the monthly fee to keep this fucking podcast going, and you don't see too many of those shirts, do you?
So if everybody just gives me $1,
Yeah.
we'll be okay. And yeah, no, but we're happy to do it. Like
If
also
we
get
if we
enjoyment out of
wanted
it.
to make a bunch of money or whatever, we would take the routes to do that. That's not why we do this.
Yeah, exactly. So you better fucking really, really like this episode. Here we go. Now, do you have
Patreon starts tomorrow.
yeah, all of the episodes will be behind a paywall tomorrow, so you have to fucking enjoy all of this. Wait. So do you have another story, or are we just going in?
I do. Dinner plate sized device found inside woman's abdomen 18 months after C-section birth.
Okay, I almost did this one as well, and I'm just like
That's always like been something that has terrified me is
a C-section.
well that too. That doesn't sound fun. But you know, I had my appendix removed in 2010, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember afterwards just being like, what if they left something in there?
Yeah, I mean, I hear about people leaving like I mean, worst bad case scenario, it's like a pair of scissors or something, and then like
A scalpel.
a scalpel. Yeah,
Scalpel. I was like, that didn't sound right.
but also like people like leave gauze or like some kind of like cloth, like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and that collects bacteria and becomes
yeah.
infected and shit. But once again, I almost chose this because I was like, I guess the theme of the day is people being bad at their jobs.
Oh, I
And,
mean,
like-
you should have seen this motherfucker that took my appendix out.
What?
There ain't no way he's still alive. I'll say that much.
Oh, he was a baby in the 1930s movie.
Yes. He was a baby in the 1930s for sure.
Okay. Yeah, he could have definitely forgot.
Yeah, my sister was with me when he came in and was like talking to me, and my sister was like, "Holy shit, maybe we should take you to a different hospital."
Doctors are a different breed, man. They just
Yeah.
like are like I was interested in the medical field, and then I realized I just don't have the wherewithal to like. I mean, nor
You
the
would look
smarts.
so good in scrubs, though.
Thank you. But like I wouldn't have the smarts, of course, but I wouldn't have the wherewithal to like be like I need to be
Bedside
at the
manner.
hospital. Yeah, I'm like I don't love any that too, but I don't love any job enough to be like I'm working till I'm 90. Like no way.
Yeah.
I just want to make, as Joni Mitchell said, I want to make a lot of money and then quit this crazy scene.
Is that what she did?
Yeah, basically.
Is she alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
She took her songs off Spotify, her and Neil Young, because they're just like fuck this shit, because like Spotify was like being shitty or something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyway. So should we get into these stories? Oh wait, what was that fucking plate?
It described it. I didn't really get what it was. I think
It was a Chinese buffet plate.
it was a transfluent film used to draw back the edges of a wound during surgery. A retractable cylindrical device.
Huh. And they just left it.
Yeah. Just
Should
a little prize.
You know what? Speaking of making money, maybe we should have that happen. Just leave something inside me so I could just sue you and make a lot of money.
Sue me? You want me to put something inside of you so you can sue me? The fuck?
Oh, you're gonna use this audio clip in court? What do you mean I asked you to? No. You gotta leave a scalpel in me. A snapple.
A snapple with a little pun.
Leave me the fucking interesting fact in the cap in my gut.
Put a Sobe in me.
Dude, Sobeys are sick.
Those glass bottles. The day they went from glass to plastic, it was over.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Bring back the glass.
Last time I was in Mexico, you could get those Sobeys though.
I feel like I don't know why there's a lot more glass like bottle products than like plastic bottles in Mexico. Why is that?
Good glass country.
They got good glass trees. Where's glass come from? Trees, right?
Yeah. Nah, man, melted sand.
I know, when that lightning strike hits the sand and you get a little piece of glass. You ever heard about that? Like, that happens a lot to me. I'm like, don't you guys love when that happens? You know, everybody's experienced this, right?
Nothing like a lightning storm on the beach.
Where you're supposed to be
Yeah.
during a lightning storm. Anyway, okay, let's get into these stories. Now, David, As we talked about this guy stealing 5K, he wasn't much of a thief, nor was he any kind of bad guy. But as we know, there are a lot of bad guys and girls out there. And one specific type of bad guy, is of course murderers. Another one real popular one, kidnappers.
Yeah.
Bank robbers. Is another one. But one that is a little gray area where it's like they're kind of cool unless you're the target.
Yeah.
And that is, of course, a con man. So today, we're going to be talking about a guy named Victor Lustig that not only sold the Eiffel Tower once, but tried to sell it again, baby. Yeah, that happened.
Hey, if someone's dumb enough, they deserve it.
Yeah. So let's get into it. And this guy was like really good too. So like he's a good con man. So it's like I don't really blame the people who got conned, because I mean this is like early 1900s too. So it's like we just you see people fall for the buying Google Play cards and sending them to an Indian man like all the time. It's like so we still be getting conned. So let's get into it. So Victor Lustig was an Austria-Hungarian born child in 1890. Ooh, he's not a doctor. I'll tell you that much right now. He wasn't even a baby in those 1930s movies. He's a fucking full-grown adult.
They didn't even have doctors back then.
Yeah. So, in 1890, who grew up as a gifted and smart child, but also a troubled one. It is said at the young age of 19, Lustig parted with the schooling for a bit as he became a gambling aficionado, getting his first taste of making a quick buck. Oh, man. Is there anything better than the taste of a roulette ball falling right on black and you got a $5 on there and then you get $10 and then you're down 30 and then I got to just get back to where I was and, Oh, the thrill.
It's just amazing when you get back to zero.
That high? Oh, man.
Oh, man.
So he also got into a little more trouble in school as he obtained a lifelong and defining scar on his left cheek after getting into an altercation with a jealous boyfriend of a woman he had been consorting with. They say consorting with. I don't know fully what that means, if he was doing anything, but he was at least talking to her, and that in this is probably 1910 at this point. In 1910, if you talk to another guy's girl, you're gonna get it cut across the cheek. That's what
walloped.
Like when in the 1950s movies, like Stand By Me, when like Kiefer Sutherland pulls out a switchblade and like holds it to like a kid's face, or like they do it in It too. They like cut his chest, and I'm like,
a lot of switchblades back then.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, bullies don't do that. I guess they do from this.
They did.
Some guy's just like cutting a guy's cheek, like so deeply he has a life-defining scar. Like, okay.
Facebook ruined everything.
Bring back knife bullying. Stabbing? You mean stabbing? So
that would really fix everything if kids could stab again. Kids should be able to stab again. I'll say it.
Make America stab again. Okay. That was a joke. Please do not stab anybody. So after graduating, now with a plethora of learned languages under his belt, he left for New York City in the form of a luxury cruise liner, which traveled between France and the Big Apple. So, like I said, he was very smart, so he learned a lot of languages, so he was able to, which is probably the best thing you could do if you're going to con everybody from, like, all these different countries and just be hopping and bopping around. So, so he started his life of conning. So while on the ship, Lustig found great success in swindling the upper elites out of their exorbitant amounts of money by pretending to be a musical producer who sought investment in a non-existent Broadway production. as well as many other scams he was able to pull off due to his impeccable manners and smooth talking. He performed his scams on many ships for a period of time, back and forth from New York to France. I
tried to do that quietly every time, but I just see the fucking
just
sound
spikes.
spike right into their head.
No, it's exactly what was going. We were setting the ambiance for the ship where everybody was drinking.
I even opened it inside of my shirt.
Shirts that, I ain't gonna do anything. You know, on the ship when everybody was drinking Topo Chico seltzer.
How'd you know that's what I'm drinking?
Because I have one in my fridge.
But this is the first one I opened.
I saw you hold it up for like a split second, but I literally have one in my fridge that I look at every single time. Yeah.
What flavor?
That looks like maybe just like lime.
Yours is, no, I'm asking what flavor you got.
I think mine's like lemon lime or some shit.
Yeah.
Is that one lemon lime?
Pineapple.
Ooh, that's a little shit.
Yeah, it's all what's left.
I like some pineapple flavored ones sometimes. High name pineapple's not bad.
I like real pineapple. Anything flavored pineapple, no thank you.
Fair. So, like I said, he was, he's a smooth talker, an impeccable manners, good manners guy. So he performed his scams on many ships for a period of time, but when World War I rolled around, the cruise liners were suspended, which does make sense. You don't want to be getting blown up out of the water. And Lustig decided to move to the U.S. in search of new targets. So I just also love that he was just like, Broadway play, give me money for a Broadway play. And, man, I wouldn't let anybody fucking hold my luggage in, like, 1910. I'd be like, no, if you, like, turn around, if I turn around and you're gone, like, there's
that's
like
my
no
life. My life is gone.
Exactly.
My 3 shirts are gone.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, my 3 shirts I own and my comb are in there. Like, I feel like every man had a toothbrush, a comb, 3 shirts, and a pair of pants.
And one nice pair of shoes that had a hole in the bottom.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they had the big toe sticking out the front of it.
No, those are your everyday beaters. I'm talking about the nice pair that just only have the hole in the bottom.
Okay. So this guy, he's just taking money, people giving him money on the ships, and he's like, come to the Broadway play, and there's like just 2 homeless men fighting in an alley, and he's like, is this the play? It's very avant-garde.
Realistic knife fight.
Is this a David Lynch play? Are they stabbing each other? God, America's great, isn't it? They're like looking at each other. So at this point, law enforcement in the U.S. began to take notice of the con man and his many scams, most notably a scam in 1922 in which he conned a bank into giving him money, fuck the bank, for a portion of bonds he was offering for a repossessed property, only to use sleight of hand to escape with both the money and the bonds. Bro pulled off a magician trick, stole the bonds and the money.
I mean, he's efficient.
He's like, what's that behind your ear? And he's like,
my mortgage.
Bond. Like, what the fuck? I just thought that was pretty cool. You know, like I said, I don't want to be anti-bank on here, but that story just made me so mad.
Yeah.
Don't fucking sue this guy for you dropping money out in front of the bank. So, he's just doing magic tricks at the bank. So at this point, law enforcement... Oh, I just read that. So Lustig was a smart con man, as he tended to try and rob or con institutions and people who had lots of it. Lots of money. Why the fuck did money? Lots of it.
It. It's it.
Ice cream sandwiches.
It's it.
And it's it.
I always call it it. It drives my wife crazy.
Oh, when you're like trying to describe something?
No, the ice cream sandwich.
Oh, it's it.
Yeah, it's it.
Those things are really good, and they have 1920s packaging, which I kind of love.
Yeah, I'm not a big ice cream guy, but I like those.
The oatmeal cookie. Oatmeal cookie. Okay, so he was trying to rob institutions and people who had lots of money. And in order to get close to these types of elites, Lustig himself would mimic someone who was also rich, dressing in nice clothes and having fine taste. When his new friends would ask where he earned his living, Lustig would begin to execute his newest con in the form of the Romanian box. Not Romanian, but a Romanian box.
What does that mean?
I don't know what a Romanian box. I don't know what Romanian means, but I can tell you what the box did, because the Romanian box is a box that he claimed was a machine that could duplicate any currency bills that were inserted into it, with the only catch being that the device needed 6 hours to print an identical copy. Referred to as the money box or Romanian box, the scam involved a specially designed mahogany box, roughly the size of a steamer trunk. There's his luggage. And the box design featured 2 small slots designed to take in bills and the paper to print the duplicate on, and a compartment containing a false arrangement of levers and mechanisms that had to be that had to be operated to make the duplicate. So basically, it had like a money slot where you slip the $100 bill in, and then the other slot, the duplicate would come out. And all the slots and all the other shit like basically did nothing. Like not the slots, the levers did nothing.
So it would just print out counterfeit?
So what he would do, here's what he would do. So in order to convince the mark it truly worked, Lustig would ask them to give him a specific denomination of bill, like a $100 bill, insert it into the device along with the paper, and then the paper that it would print on, and then wait with them until the duplicate was made. When it had, Lustig would take the mark with him to the bank to authenticate the note. So in reality, Lustig had concealed a genuine note within the device. The choice of the denomination was influenced by what he put into the box beforehand. He would like put a $100 bill or a $20 bill, and Lustig would be like, "Give me a $20 bill," and he had already pre-put a couple $20 bills, like 2 $20 bills, in the box. So he would put in the Mark's $20 bill, and after 6 hours, the Mark's $20 bill and the new $20 bill would come out, and they would both be legit. And then he would go down to the bank with him and be like, "Look, test these." Because it's counterfeiting, basically. They're just making counterfeit money. Yeah. And they go down to the bank and they go, "Yeah, both of these are legit." And he goes, "Fuck, it made an actual replica of the $20 bill that the bank itself cannot even recognize as a counterfeit."
Okay.
But in reality, they were 2 legit $20 bills in there. So what would happen was, once the mark was convinced, Lustig would refuse to sell the box to them until they offered him a high price for it. Before it was sold, Lustig would pack the box with additional genuine notes to buy him time to make a clean escape, before his mark realized that he had been conned. So, like I said, he would put a couple more like dollars in there, like hundreds or 20s, and then he would just dip and get far enough away so by the time that the third bill rolled around and like a regular piece of paper came out and they realized the box didn't work, he was long gone. There's no way that they could find him. Which is crazy. And so one of Lustig's most infamous uses of the device was upon a Texas sheriff whom he convinced to buy it for thousands of dollars. A sheriff, of course, the fucking guys that aren't supposed
idiots.
No, they're not supposed to be breaking the law. And he's like, "Ooh, a counterfeit machine. That's cool."
Yeah.
Upon realizing he had been tricked, the sheriff pursued Lustig to Chicago. And upon meeting him again, the sheriff was conned into believing that he was just not operating the device correctly, and was handed a large sum of cash as compensation.
It's just so complicated.
So Lustig was like, "Oh man, you're just not using it right." He's like, "You know what? I'm really sorry. You came all the way up to Chicago. I'm sorry you couldn't figure it out. Here, I'm gonna give you like $5,000. Here's like $5,000." And he gave the sheriff $5,000. But then he found out after going back home that the $5,000 was counterfeit. So the money he got from Lustig was also fake.
Kind of confirms the box wasn't real.
Yeah. So this counterfeiting would eventually lead to Lustig's arrest by American law enforcement officers. But that was not today, because Lustig would perform an even greater scam, but this time back in France. So in 1925, Lustig moved to Paris and began his boldest scheme yet, selling the Eiffel Tower. So, as most of us know, the tower was built in 1889. Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah.
But it was at the Paris Exposition, aka like the World's Fair. So, for those of you who don't know, there's a book called Devil in the White City about H.H. Holmes.
I wish they still had the World's Fair.
I know. Do they still have it? I think they want to bring it back, honestly.
If they did, it wouldn't be as cool as it was back then.
No, because it now would be like a fucking expose where like brands were like Apple would just be like, we're trying to sell as many people the new fucking VR thing we created. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back then it was like
The most magical shit imaginable, like a hover car. Holy shit.
Yeah, basically there'd be like these different, like I said, if you want to know more about it, read Devil in the White City. It's about H.H. Holmes, the serial killer in Chicago, and how when the World's Fair came to Chicago in whatever year it came there, that he used the World's Fair as a diversion to like kidnap and murder people who were visiting the World's Fair from like far away. And people would be like, oh, we don't know what happened to them. They went to the World's Fair. They probably went somewhere else, you know? And
Did we not do an episode on this? I swear you did.
We might have, honestly. I don't know if
I'm pretty positive you did an episode about it.
I think I might have.
Or did
But-
I?
I don't know. I kind of like H.H. Holmes is kind of beaten into the ground at this point, so I kind of don't.
We try to avoid those stories.
Yeah, exactly. But
I feel like you just did one on just the layout of the hotel he was building.
maybe I don't know. I could have.
Yeah. Well, it's
I've
really
ta-
interesting.
I've talked about it numerous times, but
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, his murder hotel was like trap doors and
Very cool.
pipes that led into the wall that like gas would like kill you in your sleep, and then you throw you down the chute that led to his basement, and then he would dissect you, clean your skeleton, put you back together, and sell you to colleges as like skeletons that they would have up in their classroom to make extra money. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But the World's Fair itself, it was like a hub for like art and architecture, and the World's Fair in Chicago in that book Devil in the White City, they would constantly talk about the architecture and how they built everything for the World's Fair. Like they built all of the buildings there, and he wanted them to look like, this one is supposed to look like Greco-Roman architecture with pillars. This one is supposed to look like New Age, blah, blah, blah. So there's different types of architecture. And when they're doing the Chicago World's Fair, they kept referencing the Paris Exposition in 1889 and how the Eiffel Tower was built for that exposition to show architecture, and like it's almost like an art installation and architecture. And it became so big that like everybody in the world knew about it, and they're like, we have to build something like that. They ended up building this giant dome that they ended up tearing down in Chicago, but they were trying to like emulate what they did in Paris because that tower was so iconic. But we didn't know that apparently the tower was only intended to stand for 20 years at the time of the construction in Paris.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. So when Lustig showed back up to Paris, the structure was now 36 years old and a rusting eyesore. So even though today the Eiffel Tower is seen as one of the most iconic structures in the world, at the time the people in Paris wanted it gone due to its ugliness and it costing too much to maintain the upkeep. The French government didn't really want it. They're like, why are we putting money into this thing? We didn't sign up for this. It's huge. We have to like do all this shit. So they're like, we should just like tear this down. And everybody in the city was like, fucking tear it down. We don't want it. Like, we don't like it. It's whatever. We don't care. Obviously I don't know what ended up happening where they ended up keeping it, but
Yeah, I don't think they tore it down.
they did not tear it down.
I think it's
But-
still there.
But Lustig read this in the paper that like the Parisian mindset was get rid of it. So he's like, oh fuck, like I could really use this to my advantage. So Lustig had official looking stationery printed identifying him as deputy director of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. He sent letters to 6 leading scrap metal dealers, inviting them to a hush-hush meeting to discuss removing the landmark. Absolute secrecy was critical, he insisted, to avoid a public uproar, because there were some people still that like wanted it, and then there's other people that were like, no, we don't want it. So he didn't want to be like, okay, it's official, we're tearing it down. He didn't want the word to get out because people would freak out and protest and stuff. So the con he sold was that he worked for the French government and that he was selected to find the dealer that would receive ownership of the scrap metal taken from the Eiffel Tower, as the French government no longer had the resources for upkeep, and that it was also to be dismantled. So Lustig boosted all of the attendees' egos by stating, the 6 guys, by stating that they were all individually selected because of their reputation as being honest businessmen.
Hell yeah.
Which is like so ironic.
Really gas up their ego.
Exactly. And it kind of diverts any like weird attention on you. He's like, we chose you because you're honest. Like, this guy really cares about honesty and integrity. Yeah. Okay. So Lustig also made the meeting look extremely official by booking the meeting in the suite of like a fancy hotel in Paris. He also booked limos to bring everyone to said suite, and having all of the attendees interested submit a sealed bid for the job. So it was like very, like I said, he had a lot of like class and manners. Like, he really made sure to like lead with that, because he knew that like brought people's suspicions down. They let their guard down when you like, you know, make it look legit or like look like you're a fancy person who has money.
Yeah.
So one dealer, though, out of the 6 was especially eager to win the contract. His name was Andre Poisson, and he asked for a private meeting with Lustig after, you know, all the other 5 left. He explained that he was new to Paris and didn't have the insider connections the other dealers had. So Lustig said he understood what he was going through, but he also lamented that as a government bureaucrat, he was having trouble making ends meet. Wink, wink.
I love a good wink, wink.
So he didn't ask for any like sexual favors, but he was like, you know, bribe me. Mm-hmm. So Poisson took the hint, and he paid the equivalent of $20,000 to purchase the tower, and an additional $50,000 to guarantee his bid would win. Which is kind of weird to think about, that like he had to pay $50,000 in order, like, I kind of get it, because if it's like the French government, they're like, we're giving you the you have to like basically help tear this thing down, so you're getting a bid to work on it, but whatever metal you keep. So you pay us $20,000. That's like a discount.
Yeah.
And then you'll make probably millions in scrap metal. Like, I don't know how much scrap costs then, but and the guy was like, Lustig was like, but like, throw me 50 bones too. Like, I need, you know, some money. So
it's eerily similar in a way to my Titanic story.
In what way?
How they scrapped the Titanic.
Oh, yeah. They were kind of doing that, like, insurance thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and for the scrap metal. Yeah, for sure. Probably close to a similar year, too. So Lustig, at that point, you know, he got $70,000 because Lustig was on a train speeding to Vienna within an hour.
What year was this? Ballpark?
This was 1889 this was 36 years after 1889. So 1925?
Oh.
1925. No. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
1925. 36 years after the 1889 Paris Exposition.
So that would equal to 1,200,020. Jesus. So it's basically $1.25 million.
Well, I didn't know you were doing quick math, because my next sentence was, Lustig was on a train speeding to Vienna within an hour with $70,000 in cash, worth $1.1 million. So you were right.
I mean, on mine, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it converts $70,000 at that time converts to $1.1 million today. So you said 1.2, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so he swiped that money and ran. So incidentally, when Poisson realized he had been conned, he was so humiliated. I kind of feel bad for the guy. He was
killed
so
himself.
No, he didn't call the cops.
Oh yeah.
He didn't tell anybody about
When
this.
when you do that, that's when the crimes just keep going though, and no one stops it. You know.
Yeah, so after a few weeks, or I think within the week, Lustig checked the papers looking for an article about his scam because, you know, he was scamming people all over, and they would all go to the police, and they'd be like, hey, like, watch out for this guy. And he'd be like, fuck, I can't go back there, or I have heat on me right now. I need to go somewhere else. And he looked in the papers, but to his surprise, he found nothing. Putting two and two together, Lustig realized he could pull the very same scam again since there was no trace of his misgivings yet, so he did. Lustig sent letters to 6 more scrap dealers to set up a meeting, but this time it did not go so well as one of the dealers smelled a rat and alerted the police. So Lustig got wind of it and was on an ocean liner for America when officers showed up at his hotel. So it's kind of Catch Me If You Can, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Great movie. So armed with 47 aliases and a dozen of fake passports and IDs, Lustig charmed his way from one con job to another. He even wound up in Chicago, where he had the chutzpah to hustle Scarface himself.
Ooh.
That's right. He told Al Capone he had a great stock deal. By the way, Scarface, he had a scar on his face too. They had a lot to talk about.
You want to know how I got these scars?
He's like,
That was
"Bull-
not bad.
You want to know how
There
I
it
got
is.
these scars? My father was a drunk and a fiend and a Scarface. He sold the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, he's like, you want to know how I got these scars? Bullying. Pretty cool.
Just being a mean man.
I was mean. People were mean to me. Bring stabbing back. So
Bring it back.
So he told Al Capone he had a great stock deal. This was the Roaring '20s, by the way. Remember when Wall Street was red hot? Apparently.
Oh yeah.
But he needed 50...
Iron in the fire, baby. Red hot.
Iron. You want to buy the Eiffel Tower? Iron. But he needed $50,000 to finance it. So Lustig promised to double the gangster's money in 2 months. Exactly 60 days later, he sadly returned with all $50,000, telling Big Al the deal had fallen through. This is how this guy was like, man, you're really playing with death if you're just like trying to take loans. But so this was his con the entire time, apparently. So he took $50,000, told me double it. Then he came back 2 months later with the money and was like, hey, I'm like really sorry, but like I thought it was going to go through and it didn't go through. Impressed with his honesty, Capone gave Lustig $5,000 to invest, which Lustig pocketed as he hurried out of town. So he knew that like Capone probably dealt with like people who either made him profit, or if they didn't make him profit, they would just fucking not pay him back, and then he'd have to go kill him or shake him down. But he's just like, the guy showed up on time 60 days later and was like, hey, I'm really sorry, here's all your money back, not a dime is missing. I'm like, he basically said the deal fell through and I'm on hard times now because this deal fell through, so I have to like rebuild like my net worth. And Al Capone felt bad for him and gave him $5,000. Some people argue it was $1,000, but I saw a lot of publications say it was $5,000. And I was like, damn, what a fucking smart thing to just be like, yeah, I'm down on my luck now. I'm really sorry. And then he's like, I feel bad for you, kid. I got so much money. Here's fucking $5,000.
Yeah.
So he was arrested more than 40 times and either beat the rap in court or slipped out of his cell. And in 1930, he partnered with a chemist and fellow conman named Tom Shaw. They soon were producing $100,000 a month in excellent counterfeit bills. The Secret Service couldn't discover who was floating all the phony money, too. So their break came in 1935, courtesy of the Green-Eyed Monster. I guess you'll find out that was a lady named Billy May, because Lustig was still carrying on his affair with high-priced Madam Billy May. He had a high-priced Madam. Okay. Until he put the moves on Shaw's mistress, his partner in crime, who promptly told Billy May. So she's like, "Oh yeah, like Victor tried to come on to me," and they were like, Billy May and this other chick were like homies, you know? Yeah. That, and the enraged Madam, Billy May, went to the police and spilled the beans. Jesus Christ.
The beans are on the floor.
Isn't that always how you get caught? You know, you can't.
Let's change the saying, spilled the beans. Let's change it to the beans are on the floor.
Ooh, I like that. The baked beans are on the floor, bacon bits everywhere. Duke is horrified.
The bacon bits are between my toes. Now we changed it again.
Duke's secret recipe is on the linoleum. Let's change it to that. What's that company called? Bush's Baked Beans.
Bush's Baked Beans.
Now that the feds knew who they were looking for, it was just a matter of time. So she told them about like that they were counterfeiting all that money and stuff like that, you know. Of course. But of course not about like what the French police were looking for. But they knew that it was just a matter of time. And when they finally caught him on a New York sidewalk, Lustig's wallet held a hidden key, and it opened a subway station locker stuffed with $51,000 in bogus bills and the plates they had been printed on, that he had printed them on. So the day before his trial, he got arrested, and the day before his trial, Lustig managed to escape from the federal house of detention in New York City by faking illness and using a specially made rope to climb out of the building. But he was captured 27 days later in Pittsburgh. Lustig pleaded guilty at his trial and was sentenced to 15 years in prison on Alcatraz Island, California, for his original charge, with a further 5 years added on for his prison escape. So he got 20 years. Just for sneaking out for 27 days ain't worth 5 years, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And on March 9th, 1947, Lustig contracted pneumonia and died 2 days later at the Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Springfield, Missouri. On his death certificate, his occupation was listed as apprenticed salesman. Okay, so the last thing I forgot to put this in, but I totally remembered it. The last thing I wanted to bring up was one thing he did leave behind. I also thought it was kind of funny that he was like, I'm an apprentice salesman. Like, what the fuck what is that?
A con man.
I guess so, but like more than an apprentice, he was a master of the craft. So the one thing he left behind was a set of instruction known as the 10 Commandments for con men. So this has been attributed to Lustig, and I'm going to read the 10 crack commandments, as Biggie would say. I love that song. So, number 1, be a patient listener. It is this, not fast talking, that gets a con man his coups. COUPS, his coups, right?
Yeah.
Coups. 2, never look bored. 3, wait for the other person to reveal any political opinions, then agree with them. I love this.
I was going to say exploit them, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I like this. This is good.
Honestly, this just kind of sounds like being a good salesman.
Honestly, yes. So, 4.
Or a politician.
Yes. 4, let the other person reveal religious views, then have the same ones. Once again, pretty good. 5, hint at sex talk. Oh, what the fuck?
Ooh,
but
okay.
don't follow it up unless the other person shows a strong interest. Ooh,
a little flirty.
Okay. Ooh, this is like dating advice too.
Kinda, a little bit.
Ooh.
See how naughty they can get.
This is the 10 commandments for dating. Be a patient listener. Never look bored. Wait for the person to reveal political opinion and religious. Agree with them both. Hint at sex talk. Okay, I think this is 6. Never discuss illness unless some special concern is shown. Yeah, that's probably good.
Sir, you're bleeding from your ears.
Oh, that?
No, I'm not.
Don't talk about that, bitch. So 7. Never pry into a person's personal circumstances. They'll tell you all eventually. That's pretty good. 8. Never boast. Just let your importance be quietly obvious. I love this. This is great.
This is like a good dating.
It really is.
Really good like dating tips.
9. Never be untidy. And then number 10 is never get drunk.
Wait, never be untidy. What does that mean?
That means like never be sloppy. Never be like always look like proper.
Oh, okay.
And,
I was thinking double negatives.
yeah, that kind of.
So I thought it was saying
never be tidy.
yeah.
No, yeah,
Okay.
never be untidy.
Okay.
And then
That makes more
never
sense.
get drunk. Which I have to say, like, wow.
Yeah, you ever been on a date and someone gets sloppy drunk?
Oh my, no, but it's usually just the mirror in front of me when I go to the bathroom. That guy.
That bastard knows all my moves. He blocks all of my punches with his own fist.
Also, I'm looking right here at this Wikipedia page because that's where the 10 Commandments were, and it says, "See also Charles Ponzi."
From the Ponzi scheme.
I had no idea that was named after a guy.
I didn't either.
Maybe
Makes sense though. I mean, where else would that word come from? I guess
That's
no one
true.
was coming up with a definition of what a Ponzi scheme was. Like, yeah, we're gonna call it a Ponzi.
It could be like Latin. I don't know.
True. Most things are Latin these days, huh?
But these days, fucking forever. It's Latin, dude. It's a dead language. It also says Bernie Madoff, which is another fucking little piece of shit.
Yeah.
But that's the story of conman Victor Lustig and his 10 crack commandments. But
amazing man.
Yeah, he's pretty interesting shit.
Yeah. All right, Tobin. In today's world, there is a topic that has stuck around deep rooted in most people's minds. And it is a topic that has been around for generations. But in my opinion, we are in the golden age of news and updates on said topic. And that topic would be, what do you think?
Mold.
Mold. So today we're going to talk about black mold.
Imagine if I just guessed it. What is it?
Extraterrestrial life.
I was going to say that, but like I thought it was too on the nose. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to. Yeah. Of course, though.
Yeah, aliens. Like, name a hotter topic. Aside
Mm.
from the fact that Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet were seen making out at a Beyonce concert, because that's all I see online.
Willy Wonka is getting his chocolate. Sorry, that's fucking weird to say. Why did I say that?
He's getting his Oompa Loompa.
I'm not really into her look. Like,
No, God, no. Not,
I was talking to Megan. We were doing that TikTok thing where it's like,
Who?
stop. I'm not going. We're not doing this again. My girlfriend. My new girlfriend. Cocksucker. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Anyway, we were doing a thing.
The bit's
where
alive, baby.
We're
the
doing
bit's
a
still
thing.
going strong.
we were doing a thing where you're like, it gave you like a random celebrity and you had to rank them like 1 through 10. And like Kylie Jenner came up and she's like, "Oh, you're gonna rank her high." I'm like, "No." I'm like, she's not. I'm like, maybe it's just me, but I don't like that. Like, kind of. I guess you would call it like a typical LA look or whatever. But I'm
Well,
like,
she's getting the cat face. Too much plastic surgery.
yeah, from It's Always Sunny. See,
Yes.
I
That's
have
a thing.
I have a very strong opinion on this, where it's like I do think like those people are like quote unquote like attractive, where it's like, yeah, like you're what the society is like. Oh, you're like a Kim Kardashian. People are like, oh, she's hot, but I'm like, that's like, sure, you're
Not for me.
attractive, that's fine, but yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with it, but
Yeah.
that's just me. I'm just an ugly fuck. She's like, I would not be interested in you. I'm like, good. I don't want to date you. She's like, you're gross and poor. I'm like, okay, this is personal.
Is that what she said to you when you guys were shopping for records?
I said, oh, that was her sister.
Ow.
And no.
Potato.
Her and Bad Bunny looked pretty normal. I was
Yeah.
like, he's wearing like a green backwards hat. I'm just like, yeah, this is weird.
I do
Not
that
like
too,
normal.
but mine's not. I don't have a green one.
Yeah, me and Bad Bunny have a lot in common. We both wear backwards
What if you
hats.
just walked out too in the record store? Hey man, I do the same thing. Mine's
Hey,
not
dude.
green though.
That's sick, but green, that's a bad color for a hat. Just saying. Okay, see you later.
Green's really bad with my skin tone. Looks good on you though.
I should have been like, oh, I love Gasolina. That's a sick song. And he's like, dude. not the guy.
Despacito.
No, Gasolina. I love Mambo number 5. He's like, I'm not Lou Bega.
Why do people keep mistaking me for Lou Bega?
And then I go over, I go, a little bit of candle on the side. And then I dip her in the record store. Like,
Oh yeah, like a very suave dip.
Yeah, dip, and then I drop her and I run out of the store. And the bodyguard catches me and chokeslams me through a plate glass window.
Yeah. What
Okay.
after a sucker punch on the popo?
And then as I hit the ground, I just I say to myself with very winded breath, I'm like, I'm gonna be famous. Local poor crazy man attacks Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny at record store. Okay, sorry, that was a big tangent.
So what I was saying these last few months, I think the whole alien thing has really shown a resurgence. It's always kind of been like a big thing, but I feel like it's like really hitting its peak.
It really is. I should drop my film soon.
Yeah. With more evidence being released daily, to, our government holding open discussions on it inside their own chambers, we are getting closer and closer to finding the truth, which you can hopefully say. So yes, I'm here to talk a bit about aliens again, but more specifically, the Majestic 12.
What?
Do you know who the Majestic 12 are?
Oh yeah, that's like the alien basketball team that we play in the intergalactic tournament.
No, that's the Monstars.
That's a strong 5, but they got a strong 7 on the bench waiting to
They
get
don't
in
even
there.
have a sixth man.
Yeah.
Lunatics.
They
Do you think
don't.
Danny DeVito would lace up if he needed to?
Was he in that movie?
He was the coach. He was the Monstars coach.
Wait, as Danny DeVito? Or was he a
No.
cartoon character?
He was a cartoon character.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Was he a normal-sized Monstar? Like the little Monstar? Or
He was like a medium-sized Monstar. He owned the theme park. He had the cigar.
Oh my god, dude. I forgot about that. Did he drink the shit?
Did he drink the shit? I don't think there was shit in the movie.
Okay, wait. I got it mixed up because I took the scene where they drink the water, the fake water.
Oh, MJ special stuff.
Yeah, not that. Okay, I forgot how they got the powers. They got the powers from them touching the ball. So did he touch? Did Danny DeVito touch the ball at all, or was it just the 5 guys on the team? I don't think he touched the ball.
No. He never had any hoops talents.
I guess my question is, does he still look like Danny DeVito just in monster form?
Yes.
Okay, just exactly like Hercules. They kind of do him dirty every time.
Yes.
Hercules, he plays like the pans. He's like the half
Yeah.
goat man,
Little pan flute guy.
and
yeah.
he kind of just looks like Danny DeVito.
Yes, no. Danny DeVito's alien in Space Jam does look a lot like Danny DeVito. Unless I'm wrong. Could do
No,
a
you're
quick
probably
Google
right.
search, but I'm pretty positive he looked just Monstars coach. Come on, Google. Yeah, he looks just like Danny DeVito.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, sorry.
So, the Majestic 12, also known as MJ12. So, MJ12 is a highly secretive and mysterious organization that has long been a talking point for conspiracy theorists and those who just love a good old juicy mystery. The MJ12 was said to have been established and formed by none other than President Harry Truman. And the evidence is right there, folks. It's in his name. This is all true.
Man. I don't know one thing he did. To be honest, I can't really picture him.
Yeah, he's a fat old white guy. I don't know.
Oh, is he fat?
Probably.
I kind of get the... I
I think he wore a top hat.
he did not fucking wear a top hat. What was his, like, 1950s?
Oh, no, he wasn't fat, no.
Let me see. Truman?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... maybe I was picturing Roosevelt.
Harry S. Truman. Oh, this was the guy in Oppenheimer who's a fucking prick.
You still haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
My wife won't see it with me because it's too long.
It's yeah, he plays a fucking asshole in this movie.
Yeah, most presidents are. You don't become the president being a nice fella.
He looks like a little fucking asshole.
Well, in this story, he created the Majestic 12. So, in the wake of the legendary Roswell incident in 1947, the MJ-12 was rumored to be created. The shadow company was made up of 12 government officials and scientists who had one task: investigating and keeping the truth of aliens secret.
Oh, see, he is an asshole.
Yeah.
He created that?
He didn't want us to know about it.
Piece of shit.
He's out there having sex with all the aliens, and we don't get to.
Yeah, that's how salmonella wasn't a thing until like the 40s, because like he got it sexually transmitted from the aliens.
Yeah,
and then he started fucking all the turtles. Well, the turtles are all fucking each other, and they started fucking the chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
which one came first, the chicken or the turtle?
They taste the same. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah. The evidence of this organization has been hard to uncover over the years, and naturally, there has never been any stone-cold, straightforward answers on its existence, which brings us to a question. Does MJ-12 really exist?
So, wait, what is MJ-12, a program?
It's a organization. It's an operation. It's a group of 12 people.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 12 aliens.
No. Yeah, so I don't know what the actual ratio is, but it's a group of 12 men who were government officials and scientists.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it was 11 government guys and then one scientist. I don't know if it was 6 and 6. Who knows?
He was just like, we already built the atom bomb. Like, let's just fucking try to form another special team of people to build a cage around these aliens. Like, I don't like what. They're like, I feel like the 1950s were like the time, or was this 40s?
This was 47.
Yeah, I feel like they were just
Roswell was 47.
I feel like this was a time. This is a super group time. This is get all the smartest people together and try to make them do something.
Yeah.
We should do that now with getting you laid, dude.
Fuck yeah.
We got 12 smartest people on this planet. You throwing up the shakas? That's cool.
I'm doing a thing that's kind of like I'm doing shakas, but I'm alternating them
drinking a beer.
as if I'm drinking 2 beers at once.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a cool move.
And I feel like one guy we could get in there is definitely Victor Lustig. He's like, I got my 10. I'm doing Werner Herzog. Yeah, I got my 10 commandments. Let me see the baby. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
So, does MJ-12 exist? Are they really that good at hiding themselves from the public? Well, if they are, it's probably dead for a good reason. I mean, the original MJ-12 is definitely fucking dead. So the interesting part about this is that over the 30 years since the group's identity was leaked to the public, no one has any true records of actually seeing them with evidence, to the point that it is believed to be more common to see an alien or a UFO than it is to see an MJ-12 member.
Whoa, this is a new K-pop band?
Yes.
Oh my god, are you a part of MJ12? I love you guys.
That does sound like a K-pop band.
It does sound like one. So we have their names?
No.
What the fuck? You said their names got leaked.
No, not their names. Just some information.
We gotta play fucking Guess Who with these motherfuckers?
Yep.
Does your person have a beard? Nope, guess again.
That's easy when you're guessing for 12 people. So a funny bit about this is, do you know what piece of media was based off of MJ12?
What? I would say Doctor Strangelove.
You're going to be mad if you don't get this.
13 Ghosts.
Oh.
The Prince.
12 Ghosts.
Yeah, they love that movie too. No, the 13th one is still Tony Shalhoub.
Yes.
I love that.
He's still in the gift shop of the Green Bay Packers that I saw him in as a child. He's trapped.
He's like, this is my glass prison.
He's made a bed out of Aaron Rodgers jerseys.
Okay, can you tell me, do you know what year or like decade the movie came out? Or is this a movie?
Early
You said
2000s.
Okay, you said piece of media. Early 2000s.
Maybe even late 90s. I'm not sure.
Close Encounters?
No.
That's like 80s.
You're going to be so mad.
Is it an alien movie?
Yes.
Alien. It's 3.
No.
Mars Attacks.
No.
I
I know you want to get it so bad.
I really do. Alien movie, not The Thing, not the remake of The Thing. Is it like close? Is it like there are actually
It's
12
big time.
people?
It's big time.
Okay.
Big actors.
Oh my god, dude, I don't know. Can you give me one of the actors? Is it gonna give it away like immediately?
Oh yeah.
Do I like this
You
movie?
ready?
Signs.
No. Will Smith.
Oh my god, Independence Day.
No.
Really? Wait, really?
Yeah.
I Am Legend.
Jesus, dude. Really?
Artificial. iRobot.
No. Oh, God.
Men in Black.
There you go, bud.
Why did that take me so long? He has a lot of alien movies. I know I Am Legend is not an alien movie, but damn, I thought I really had it with Independence Day.
Yeah. No. Men in Black.
Fair enough.
So they're little pocket flashbang memory erasers.
It's called a neuralizer.
Okay, the neuralizer is the sailor's knot that keeps their boat afloat. And that was the whole
What?
idea.
Did you just make that expression up?
Maybe. Sounds nice.
It does kind of sound nice.
I've never heard anybody say it before. I like it. So that was the whole idea, that no one has ever seen or met them because they have technology to erase one's mind after coming in contact.
Okay.
So moving on, the identification of this group became public on May 31st, 1987, when a British, this is a new word for me, and I'm not sure if it's UFOologist or ufologist. I'm going to say it's UFOologist.
I like ufologist more.
Yeah, it's UFO, and then it's logist.
Yeah.
Um,
They share the O.
They could have put a hyphen in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
So a UFOologist named Timothy Good claimed to have a batch of 1950s era UFO documents. These secret documents revealed a secret group of 12 people who were formed in 1947. In these documents, it went over how the group had covered up the Roswell crash in 1947 and how the U.S. government had been engaging with alien life ever since 1947. I was just double checking something real quick. Well, I was for some reason I forgot what year this guy found the documents, which was 87. But for some reason in my mind I thought I said 47, so I was like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Where do you find them? You want to tell me?
I don't know.
In a trunk. It's Storage Wars.
It was claimed that these documents had first been discovered in 1984 when yet another ufologist, Jamie Shandira, had received an envelope containing some film, like undeveloped film. And when that film was developed, it revealed photographs of government briefing papers that described Operation Majestic 12. As far as physical evidence goes, these two instances are the strongest things we have, but the majority of the stories come from believed eyewitnesses. People have brought to attention mysterious and unidentified government representatives who tend to show up after alien encounters. These men, dressed in black suits, will appear and attempt to restrict information being given by the witness and control the evidence these people have. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Men in Black. One eyewitness was baffled by waking up one morning with a strange lingering feeling. Something felt off. Sarah Coleman decided to check her security camera when she noticed she had a ring notification from the night before. In her disbelief, the footage showed something that she does not remember happening, but she sees herself in the video. She had met with a pug wearing sunglasses and a black suit on.
You fucker. You talking about Frank? Talking about Frank? Fucker.
No, I had to slip that one in.
When you brought up Ring doorbell, I was like, my thought was initially, I was like, maybe they're, if all of this is true, maybe they're kind of relinquishing all their power because how many surveillance cameras. Yeah, like they can't wipe a surveillance camera. Like,
I mean, I'm sure if they had the technology to make a flash that erases your mind, it could also do a mini EMP and fry your camera.
Yeah, but then most people would be like, "Oh, all of our cameras are fried in the neighborhood, right?" That never happened.
Then they would like look it up and like, "Oh, Ring's coming out with a new model. How typical."
Okay.
So, what does the MJ-12 actually do? That's the hard part, being that their existence is shrouded in mystery. So, it's hard to say. Lots of people claim that they have been visited, abducted, and had their minds wiped by the Men in Black. But that would kind of negate their claims because, you know, how would they...
How do you remember?
How do you remember that?
You got hard brain?
Your mind was wiped clean. Got
See,
power washed.
My brain's a little bit kind of tougher than the average brain. You know, mine's kind of has most people have soft brain, gray matter. I have more of a brain that shares a consistency with a now and later.
I've been pressure washing my face since I was 6. You can't get through it.
If you bit my brain, you lose a filling. There's no way you could fucking do anything and wipe my brain clean.
So many conspiracy theorists believe that the committee is responsible for covering up any and all evidence of aliens coming to Earth and preventing any true evidence from being released to the public. And it is believed that they are the ones who will turn a great UFO spotting into a simple weather balloon sighting. Like, people think, like, you know, when people are like, oh, I saw a UFO, and then they're like, that was a weather balloon.
Or, yeah, that's Tesla is doing, SpaceX is doing this, NASA's doing that. They're trying to, like, divert, you know.
Yeah. Elon's one of the 12.
He might be a fucking alien, that they're, to be honest.
Hey, man, if you're trying to start a team to prevent something, sometimes you hire one of them, you know?
Yeah. He's like, the thing is, if you eat the green goo, it's tasty. And we're like, what? He's like, I mean, I'm going to fuck up all my businesses.
I'll join, but can I have Twitter?
Yeah, someone caught him eating the green goo, and instead of just being like, I'm an alien, he's like, if I tank all my companies, that will take away from the green goo story.
I'm going to fight the other alien who owns a media company.
Yeah, they come from different planet. They don't like each other.
No. I mean, clearly Elon is a gray. Look at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zuckerberg is obviously
Lizard.
an LP, lizard person.
Yep. I think I'd agree with that.
Makes sense.
I think we kind of solved it. I mean, he looked like a bloated little gray boy, and then
He does.
lizard guy are kind of like hard, like they're kind of like scaly and fit, and like
Yeah.
hard to grab.
And the Zuck shredded. You gotta give it to him.
He does Muay Thai. He's
looks
hard
good.
to grab. Hard to grab.
He looks good from the neck down.
I'm just gonna keep saying that. He's hard to grab. I can't grab him. Every time I go over him, I try to grab him. I can't grab him.
Every time I go for him, he tail whips me. I don't know where that tail's coming from, but I know it's there.
It's there.
And it's a back tail, because we've seen the front tail of a lizard person.
What?
Do you remember that photo I found comparing humans to lizard people, and they made the lizard person's dick really tiny?
Yeah, if you look, I don't know if it's in the film, but I put that on my alien board for the film.
Did you?
Yeah, I told you that. But
no, you didn't. I'll have to go back and...
I don't know if it's in.
for
I'll
it.
have to look and check, but I did it.
Great photo.
Yeah.
So, and for the people who wonder what happens to UFOs after they've crashed, or what happens to alien bodies after they have made it to Earth, well, MJ-12 are the ones who come and clean it up and stash any and all evidence within their secret, stinky little walls.
See, but do you know who they're in partner with, right?
No.
Totino's Pizza Rolls.
And why is that?
Because you ever seen those little chunks of pepperoni, like cube? Pepperoni don't come in cube. They come in circles.
Yeah, I hope there's a big old machine that just cubes up the pepperoni. I hope there's not just like a bunch of little kids doing that.
They're not pepperoni. They're not pork. They're glork. Oh wait, speaking of, I said Barack Obama the other day, and you really like that?
Love that.
I also thought of another one.
Okay.
Dognald Trump. Not as good as Barack Obama, but okay, right?
Still pretty good.
Dognald Trump. Anyway.
Joe Barkton.
That's pretty. Joe Biden. Don't get your hand too close to him.
Yeah, that's good. You got me on that.
Biden.
That's good. God, Big Dog needs to hire us. So this brings us to the big question. Is the Majestic 12 real? Well, I think that really depends on what you think. I think it's more than fair to speculate the idea if there is an ultra-secret government group who's in charge of a sensitive topic that could send the entire world into panic, then they would have the proper resources and endless resources to remain hidden with zero limitations. And I think anybody who believes that aliens exist and that the government is making efforts to keep that information secret, they believe in the Majestic 12, even if they don't even know about it. Like, that's just kind of who knows what name they go by, but
yeah, it's kind of in the cultural zeitgeist that like government agents exist and they like wipe your brain, and it all stemmed from this group. That's where like the ideas came from.
Yeah. And although I was going to also add that these days it's probably a bigger organization than 12 individuals.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty big. So you might think that you are thankful that our government is hiding the truth, keeping us safe. But just remember, these are the bastards who are keeping us from having hoverboards. Defund the Majestic 12.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, they're called the Majestic 12. That's what the MJ stands for?
Yeah.
Ah. That's interesting. I only have one name I really want to say that's the actual problem with all this.
Okay.
You know the ringleader, the president, Harry S. Doberman.
Oh. That stands for sausages.
Kind of works, Harry Doberman.
Yeah, Harry Doberman's good.
got the man at the end, so it's like it's not a full, Truman, like a
George Barkington.
Ooh, Waggington.
God, you're just so much better at this than me.
I've literally written all of them down. I'm pretending like I'm thinking.
You went through every president.
I have drawings too, and tattoos.
You went on Fiverr. You've got drawings of all of them.
Yeah, I have tattoo ideas if you want them, but
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Well, I think that's all we got for you today. You learned about the MJ-12 and the con man Victor Lustig, and they're just tricking everybody all around the world. So just stay frosty, keep an eye out, stay vigilant.
Yeah.
And think for yourself. Just think for yourself. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love telling you these stories, and we love it when you stick around and listen. If you guys want any more information, you go to Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram. We post a bunch of stuff on there, like Barack Obama. And you can click the link in the bio and get our T-shirts and give us $1.
Yeah, for the record, I really didn't want to Photoshop people being hanged on the Titanic while it was sinking, so I went with the Barack Obama photo.
What do you mean people being hanged on the Titanic?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed lately, but when I post on our Instagram, I combine our two stories together for the photo.
Yes.
But your story was executions, and mine was the conspiracy theory of behind the sinking of the Titanic.
Yeah.
And the only thing that came to my mind was a photo of people being executed on the Titanic as it was sinking. That is why I opted to do a Photoshop of, which I don't know if you knew this, but that dog that I put on Barack Obama's head was Barack Obama's presidential dog.
You're right. That is. I didn't think about that. What's that dog's name? Bo?
That sounds right. I don't remember, but just to clarify why I went with that dog was because that was his presidential dog.
That's so funny. Oh my God. I didn't really realize that until now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, no people hanging on the Titanic.
No.
But yeah, go to the Instagram if you want any more information. Link in bio. Send us an email at campstrangepodcast@gmail.com and share this with your friends and family or wherever the hell you want to share it. Share it with
Show
the
it to your kids. Show it to your kids.
We will indoctrinate your children. We will get them saying all the president's names as dogs. But anyway, I think that's all we got for us today, for you today. David, do you have anything to say before we officially get the hell out of here?
The One Piece is real.
Yeah, he's a One Piece guy. And don't forget to stay strange.